Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to NAUI's Dive Team Report. I'm your host, Greg Martin. You know, there are a number of places around the world and here in the U.S. where responsible people have taken important actions to help preserve coastal environments and the creatures that inhabit those areas. And these are called marine sanctuaries. Jeff Gray is a superintendent with Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. So I guess the first question I have to ask Jeff is, where is Thunder Bay?
Well, thanks for having me on, Greg. We're located up in northeast Michigan on beautiful Lake Huron. You mentioned there's a system of marine sanctuaries across our country, and we are the only one on the Great Lakes.
You know, that has to be kind of an interesting place because the Great Lakes, as far as a diving locale, is tops, you know, from a lot of people's standpoints when it comes to fresh water. I know you have a lot of wrecks and so forth up there. What's the reason for creating a national marine sanctuary up there?
You know, we're often compared to the National Park Service. What we do is we try to protect and share America's ocean and Great Lakes treasures, and each sanctuary is designated to protect and share a certain resource or a collection of resources. And Thunder Bay was specifically set aside to protect a collection of shipwrecks. There's about 200 or so historic shipwrecks in and around the sanctuary. And as you mentioned about Great Lakes diving, you know, for those that haven't done it, it's spectacular. The cold fresh water has preserved these shipwrecks like nowhere else, and they're great for very beginner divers to the tech divers. So it's a great place to come visit.
Freshwater diving has its own unique attributes, and especially in a place, as you mentioned, that has the cold waters, it helps the preservation as well, doesn't it?
It does. It's really that lack of salt in the water, so the iron materials stay fully preserved, and then the lack of marine organisms, so that the organic materials in the wood is preserved. And you know, some of these shipwrecks, particularly deep ones, it's hard to call them shipwrecks. They're actually ships at the bottom. You know, fully preserved, masts still standing, incredible sites to visit, and these deep sites. But then, you know, the shallow sites, I have got a couple young kids, and I'm more and more I'm loving the shallow sites, just going out and snorkeling and seeing some of these sites in, you know, 20, 15 feet of water, you know, Caribbean clear water we can have up here, and it's a great experience. And you know, we've mentioned cold. It's not always that cold. I was out this weekend with my kids, and you know, with just a bathing suit. So we don't want to scare people away from the cold, because in the summer our waters do warm up some.
Well, I'm a Northwest diver, so I know what cold is.
Yeah, you know
so.
what it's about. Yeah.
and I've done some diving in the Northeast as well. So there you go. There's some cold water diving. Talk a little bit about, though, Jeff, the sanctuary itself. I mean, what you talk about creating this to help preserve ships. I mean, there has to be an importance to all this.
They're great sites for us to visit as recreational sites, and they're great for historians and archaeologists to study, but individually, but collectively, these shipwrecks here, they really tell the story of the Great Lakes and the transition that happened here, and how basically this region helped fuel the Industrial Revolution. And if we look at these sites, each one is a museum in itself, but together it's just a fascinating part of our past. And when we do talk about protection, we do want to make sure that these sites are preserved for future generations to enjoy the same way that we do today. But we do want people to visit them, and we work actively. We have a very robust buoy program. We have about 40 of our sites marked with buoys. We work with our local dive charters and dive shops to help promote the area, to get people out, again, diving, kayaking, snorkeling. We have some glass-bottom boats that run out of here that can share those sites with non-divers, and we're actually seeing people that are going on the glass-bottom boat. They're going out there and they're seeing how clear the water is and how interesting the sites are, and it's kind of motivating them to take the next step, be that snorkeling or even learning how to dive.
Along with the aspect of being able to go out and view these ships like you were just talking about, and protection, the protection adds layers of regulations. Talk a little bit about what kind of regulations. I mean, you are basically protecting an area, much as a police department protects people on the streets.
Yeah, you know, we're similar to a national park where, you know, we want people to come in. There's no fees for visiting our sites. There's no permit required for visiting our sites. But what we do is we ask people to treat them with respect, not to damage them, certainly not to take anything or disturb them. There is added regulations for that, but any type of non-destructive visitation is encouraged, and we're hoping to get more people to come visit these sites. Our number one form of protection is really our education program, and working with our dive community here to, when we have people coming to visit, just to make sure they know how significant these sites are and why taking one thing can impact the site, forever. And we really work through education and research so we better understand these sites, how they're changing over time, but also how we can connect people to them and really share with them why they're important and why we want to protect them.
Is there a must-see?
That's it's a tough question because there are so many great ones, and it really depends on the level you're after. We have the Cornelia Windiet, which sits in about 180 feet of water with two masts standing, and it looks like a Disney shipwreck. You would just be amazed when you look at this site. But not everybody's ready for that level. And there's the E.B. Allen, which is a similar size schooner that's in about 100 feet of water. And I mentioned the shallow sites. As I'm getting a little older, and I'm enjoying them more just because I can share them with my kids and other kids. So there literally is something for everyone. And we do have a large visitor center here that we operate. We really look as the gateway to the sanctuary. You can come in, learn about the history, learn about the different sites, learn about the research we're doing, and really try to connect people and find out which site is right for them. As we work to protect the history and the archaeology, we are also concerned about the Great Lakes themselves. And so we use the excitement of shipwrecks really to connect people to the lakes themselves and know that they're just these incredible natural resources. And it's so fun to share the Great Lakes with people that haven't seen them before because they're just blown away by the scale of them and the beauty of them. And it's really a special place.
The word lake is the misnomer there.
That's right. Yeah. I said I was just snorkeling on recently, 300-foot wooden vessel. The ships that you see coming in and out of Alpena, Michigan, where we are here, there's still an active shipping here, 1,000-foot ships going by. I mean, they literally are the inland seas, and they can be glass calm one day and 12, 15-footers the next day. So the waves. So it's really a dynamic place, beautiful and incredible place that we're lucky to be part of.
What do you want people to do? Is there some way that people can get involved?
Really learning about the history and connecting them. And I mentioned our visitor center, which is, we're really proud of it. We get about 100,000 visitors a year, which has really been a pretty big impact on this little community of about 10,000 that we live in. But no matter what we do in this center, it doesn't replace being out on the water or being on the shore and experience it. So what we really try to encourage folks to do is get out there and see this sanctuary, see the shores, appreciate our great state parks and other assets that we have in the area, and really, work to better understand these resources so we can protect our oceans and Great Lakes for future generations.
And by all means, of course, if you're sitting in front of your computer, be sure and visit thunderbay.noaa, NOAA.gov. There's a wealth of information out there. You guys have done a nice job on that website.
Thank you so much. And we have a great YouTube channel. If you search Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary, you can get a great flavor of some video of these wrecks, but also the research we're doing and a lot of the education programs we're doing. We, not just with our local community, but we really try to connect kids, get them inspired about the underwater environment, get them inspired about the environment in general. And we're really proud of what we've done, to inspire the next generations of ocean and Great Lakes explorers.
And speaking of which, if you're interested in learning to scuba dive or to up your ranking, perhaps you're an advanced diver and you want to visit some of those deeper dives, do a little technical diving, be sure and visit your local NAUI dive shop and ask about more information on getting certified. Also, you can visit NAUI.org, NAUI.org. Jeff, I want to say thanks for visiting with us a little bit about this, and best of luck with the future in the Thunder Bay area.
Well, thank you, and I look forward to you coming up here and us getting on a boat together and go seeing some of these firsthand.
And that's this episode of NAUI's Dive Team Report. I'm Greg Martin. Thanks for listening. I'll see you underwater.